Hello, dear friends. Wanted to share a little story with you about gossiping that happened to me this weekend. Maybe somebody can relate to it. Maybe it'll help somebody. Just kind of want to walk through how I handled that. But I was talking with my real good friend. We were at a big event and something was transpiring that I wasn't the happiest about. And there were people everywhere and it was loud. And I turned to her and I was kind of whispering in her ear my frustration, airing my opinion, and someone overheard me. That had to be eavesdropping because, you know, I wasn't speaking loudly. But I was venting to my friend about a certain person. Now, I just want to say, used to, before I knew the Lord, before I started walking with Him and getting to know Him, I never even thought about that kind of stuff. That was just normal for me. But things, the Lord started to change that in me and show me that it is not right to do. And I sure could not have any progress or improvement in that area without the Lord doing it in me. But anyways, so what this other person had eavesdropped and overheard me saying to my friend, they obviously went and told that person what they had heard. And I guess what they didn't hear, they pieced together. So it wasn't accurate, whatever they reported to that person. And this is the first time this has happened in years. That I guess I call it gossiped to the point that I got caught in it. That it got back to a person. And that person had texted me and said that they had heard. I tell you, anytime you're saying the words, I heard, or somebody says the words, did you hear, that's probably skirting the lines of some sort of gossip going on. And so I responded to her that that wasn't accurate. And we could speak about it in person if she wanted to. And this and that. She was like, no, that's, we're good and everything. But it really convicted me. And it was like a flashback of how I used to be. And I was not happy with myself about it. So, with the event going on there and all the people and all the noise and everything, I was not able to get along with the Lord and talk with Him about it or think about it. It was too much going on. But I just said, oh Lord, I want to talk with you about this just as soon as possible. And when I was able to get by myself, when all that event and everything was over, I just went to the Lord about it. And I just said, I'm sorry, Lord, I can't believe that this is kind of happening with me. You've helped me overcome this. It's not something I normally fall prey to. And I just ask Him to forgive me, and I ask Him to not let any harm come to the person that I was talking about. I don't want to cause any harm to anybody. And when I did that, I knew that the Lord had forgiven me and given me grace. And I trusted Him that no harm would come to anybody from it. And I just said, Lord, I don't want to ever fall into this trap and this. See, a lot of people were airing their opinions about this other person that I also did. And I was hearing that, and there was conversations going on, and God, I was just thinking, truly where there is much talk, sin is unavoidable. That's the scripture that came to me. And I'd been faced with the temptation to join in with others when they were talking about something they'd heard, talking about something going on, in the community or within parents within a school system, or when we're gathering at a sport event or whatever the case may be. There's always seems like a conversation going on behind somebody's back. And whenever I'm going to be around a lot of people, most of the time, I just say, Lord, please help me not to join in with it. Please help me to keep my mouth shut and all these things. And the Lord helps me to do that. How do I change the flow of this conversation? So we get off this subject or get off, somebody talking about a person, all that kind of stuff. And I just fell into it this weekend, and it was wrong. Now, I'm going to tell you, 10, 12 years ago, I wouldn't have been convicted about that. That wouldn't have been wrong to me. Not at all. And for many people, and maybe even someone listening, you haven't been convicted about this kind of thing. But whether we're talking about gossip, whether we're talking about anything we could do, say, or something that's happened, when we are convicted about it, when it comes up in our mind, when a thought about something we did, said, whatever, comes up, that is not to be swept under the rug and just, forget about it, whatever. Justify it, Anytime it comes up in our mind like that, we just want to bring it into the light of His presence. Talk with Him about it. Just tell Him, Lord, here's why I'm not sure if I did something wrong, or here's why I'm feeling bad about it, or tell me, Lord, what did I do wrong here? Fix this about me. Change the way I think about this kind of stuff. Whatever, that you're dealing with, whatever you got convicted over, bringing it to the Lord, talking with Him about it. Why? Darkness that's still in our own heart is being exposed in this way. And how we expose darkness is just bring it up to the Lord. Bring it up into His attention. He already knows about it. He has let us know about it. He's pricked our conscience. He's convicted us. Whatever. We're thinking about it. Talk with Him about it. That we can have a clear conscience before the Lord, like so many scriptures tell us in the Bible. Paul said, I strive to keep a clear conscience before God and man. That doesn't mean that I'm going about doing everything perfectly, not ever making a mistake or falling into sin or whatever the case may be. That just means that in whatever way I realize I've done wrong, I'm taking it to the Lord, living in good conscience that I've talked with Him about it. I haven't hidden it. I hadn't swept it under a rug and just tried to forget about it. Those things will weigh heavily on us, burden us, and it makes us not be able to boldly approach the throne of God. It does. It hinders that. But if we can have a clear conscience before the Lord, always just talking with Him about anything we feel convicted of, anything we've done, whatever, then we just have a more bold confidence to come before Him, to pray for someone, anything, like that. But if we've hidden something, covered it up, and tried to forget about it, there's something there that, is causing a block or a separation between me and him and our honesty and our truth together. Something we've done wrong or feel convicted of, feel bad about, the person that it was against or whatever may never know. And if the person doesn't know, we may think, well, we don't need to worry with that. We don't need to deal with that. It's not a big deal. But if we know about it, if we are aware, to those who know what is the right thing to do and do not do it, that is sin unto him. So I say 10 years ago or whatever, that was not sin unto me when I was gossiping. Because I did not yet, the Lord had not yet, shined the light of his presence and the truth of his word on that area in my life. And I was not convicted of it. I did not feel guilty about it. My nature had not yet been changed to see the truth in his word that gossip and speaking behind others' backs is not the way of the Lord. But as I've been walking with the Lord, getting to know him, becoming more familiar with his word, and him transforming me more and more into the likeness of Christ, transferring me over into the kingdom of light. And when I'm convicted of something, I have to go to him now. I want to go to him. Because if I can know that you know about it, Lord, of course he knows about it. But if I can bring that weighty matter, that sin, that conviction, guilt, whatever it is, to you, Lord, and make sure I know in my mind that you know about it, you still accept me, you forgive me, because he promised to. He promised to. If we confess it, he forgives it. And he will do the work that is needed to change this about us, whatever it might be. He will do the work. Little by little, situation by situation, experience by experience, failing, messing up, all these, through all this, teaching and training, correcting us unto more righteousness, and keeping a clear conscience before him is, they say that a clear conscience is a soft pillow to lay your head on at night, and it is. So that's just something somebody might think about. No guilt, no condemnation from the Lord. He desires truth in the inmost part. His ears are open to the one who can humble themselves and say, I messed up. I did wrong. Please forgive me. Please help me, Lord. I don't want to be this way. I want to be more like you. And I just left it with him. And now I have a clear conscience about it. I'm not happy I did that. Yeah, it saddens me that I fell into that. I would think, it's been all this time, Misty. How in the world could you do that? But it happened. But the thing about it is in our failures and mess ups, there is a lesson. We can learn more about him. We can learn truly that he is faithful to his promise to forgive us, that he'll help us in our time of need, that his grace is sufficient for us, and all these kind of things. We're getting to know the Lord better, even through our mess ups. And we don't have to be ashamed. Yes, we'll feel sorrow for whatever it is we've done wrong, but we have to bring it before the Lord that we can be clear in our mind, knowing he knows about it, and he still accepts me. He's still with me. He's still for me. He will help me, and things like that. So I thought I'd share that with you. Hope it can help somebody to think about. I love y'all. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.